how a VTuber's #1 harasser turned out to be her own mother. Is that true?
By now, I'm sure you're probably very familiar with a simple concept. It's the idea that whenever something becomes successful or popular, it'll naturally attract negativity. And we don't really...
Anyone else doesn't like queso. You know why? It's because you just don't appreciate the fact that people can like stuff. You know, there are some streamers I personally would never watch, but I'm like, ah, yeah, I get it. I get it, just not my personal kind of watch. Like, I don't personally watch queso, but I still have the mental capacity to be like, yeah, I get it.
It'll naturally attract negativity. And we don't really have to go that far to find an example. Because it could be the cutest, most adorable
happy recovery
little kitten imaginable.
Thank you.
If it gains enough popularity, then it will naturally become hated by some people.
Queso's my favorite Twitch streamer that I never watched live. No, wait, that's actually what it is. I love his clips and everything, but I never watch his stream.
And throughout the years, as many others have discussed this topic, they refer to it as the price of success. But what if you attract haters as a tiny content creator, as someone who is not, in society's eyes, successful? What if you have a small...
How do small creators handle negativity or hate without losing focus? I don't know.
Audience and mind your own business, and somehow you still manage to attract someone who hates your guts. Well, it's a real problem. You know, it's one thing to have 1,000 people love you and 100 hate you versus having 20 people in your chat and 1 person hating your guts.
True. That's what I said. That's literally what I meant. I'm fine with people like trolling around in chat, but if it's the only thing in chat, I'm gonna go mentally crazy.
It's very demoralizing.
It has to be the minority.
And there's quite a few smaller or up-and-coming content creators who give up because of this. But of course,
as somebody who grew without like having a big streamer be beside me and being their little, like, I don't know, somebody that they can just go to like play games with, I personally, when I was growing, you gotta just ban people, bro. You gotta do it. You just have to do it. I know it feels bad. I know it feels sad, especially when it comes to an older viewer or somebody, but you gotta look out for yourself, #1. If somebody's ruining your literal mental because of their vibes or something like that, it's fair to ban it.
They do so assuming
if there's 100 I can't.
But the people hating on them are total strangers. People who they never met, people who they don't know. But what if your biggest hate watcher, the person trying to demoralize you the most, the person who will make accounts to hate on you in your chat, the person who will hire people to go and find you at conventions or events is your own mother? Yes, the woman...
No, there's no way. There's no fucking way, dude. How did you start out? I literally didn't even know anybody when I started out. I just started streaming. I just clicked the go live button. The hardest thing to do if you want to be a streamer is actually start streaming. And that's the reason why Twitter is filled with people who go like, I'm pre-debut as a VTuber, but they never actually fucking debut. The hardest thing is to actually just go live. And the moment that you just go live, you'll see whether it is for you or for not. I got lucky. I didn't have a Discord server or anything, but I had a lot of like in real life friends who wanted to actually watch me play games and stuff. So they get tier 1. And no, Demi, sorry, I disagree. This has nothing to do with actual growth. This is actually have to do when it comes to starting your streaming career. Starting means actually making content. Starting means actually going live and doing something. Whether or not you're ready for branding or not, you have to just go live. You need to actually make content. It is what it is. But like, when I started out streaming, I had a lot of in real life friends who were interested into watching me stream in general, because apparently, I don't know, I made a lot of friends and a lot of them actually really enjoyed my company, and they were like, if you stream, I would not mind watching. And then I went live and had 5 viewers and 8 viewers. So that's throughout the whole stream, and there was actually people coming into my stream like just naturally. Literally just naturally. People were just scrolling through like some sections or whatever, and they saw my stream and they wanted to say hi, and they are still here to this day. I shit you not. There are so many people who follow me from my first week of streaming who's still here to this day.
Who literally birthed you. The person who's supposed to love you unconditionally when no one else would. It sounds ridiculous, right? Almost unbelievable. But unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to the VTuber Harasser Shoro. Her mother was such a hater that Shoro decided to just straight up leave and go live by herself to avoid her, and just as people thought that she might have finally found peace, her mother of course took it to ridiculous levels, eventually forcing her to stop all VTuber activities because of her fear for her own safety. You really, unfortunately, cannot
How did she know what her daughter's VTuber name is?
make this shit up. And seeing how the story has started to resurface recently, I figured we had to talk about it. Alright, so first things first, this story had concluded back in May of 2025.
Dilly, thank you so
However,
much for
on
2
May
months.
2nd, 2026, the account Anime Trends on Twitter
Man, I feel like I wasted my chance to explain myself. No, you didn't make me mad at all. Don't worry about it. Streaming is one of those things where it's easy when you have somebody to talk to, but not everybody gets to start streaming with somebody to talk to because not everybody is comfortable with, one, telling others that, hey, by the way, I started streaming. And two, there's a lot of people who are fake as fuck that would say that, like, oh my god, dude, that's cool, but they actually think it's cringe as fuck. And the only time that they'll ever respect it is if you actually grow. When I was growing, it was a lot of that. A lot of people say that they think it's so cool or whatever the fuck, but actually they think you're the lamest fucking person in the room. But the only time you gotta just look out for yourself. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy the 0 viewers, that's completely fine. It's reasonable as fuck. It's hard as fuck to talk to yourself and to literally like stream to 0 viewers every single day. That's the reason why streaming is not like it's one of those things where, how do I explain this? It's one of those things where you have to actually have at least people who want to watch you first before you start streaming, or like have an ability to edit and to make videos so that you can actually grow outside of Twitch and then do it on Twitch. I fortunately got lucky that a lot of my friends actually really do like me and they wanted to watch me on stream anyway because, I don't know, actually, I guess...
would make a post talking about it as if it had happened recently, garnering hundreds of
But not my in real life friends watched it. It was all my online friends. All my online friends always told me like, dude, Deme, you should go live because I would love to just like listen to you yap. So if ever there was like a VOD of my first ever stream or something, you would just see me like talking about like my online friends. Literally. Some of them, I think one of them is getting married now and stuff, so you never see him in chat. Sad.
thousands of views and a lot of engagement. 11 hours later, on that same day, a Facebook page would take that same image used by Anime Trends, add its own watermark over it, and kind of say the same thing in the description. By May 8th, this had also reached Reddit. So there's a good chance you might have heard of it already. But none of these posts really dive deep into exactly what happened. That's what this video is for. And so I'm sure you're wondering, who the hell is Harasser Shoro, the person at the center of this incident?
I like her.
Well,
I like her color scheme. It reminds me of cheese.
Part of the Japanese VTuber agency by the name of Shinsugumi,
Ube.
an agency that my channel already has some history with. That's because as I was scrolling through their list of talents, someone seemed very familiar. Someone that I had made a video on in the past, and it actually ended up being the only video on my channel that got age restricted. And that is, of course, none other than the VTuber Tomeru Ikinone.
Who's
she
that?
had used the colors in the game Splatoon 3 as a green screen to stream adult
All right.
videos live on YouTube.
Spook flips against
This was
your
such a
wine.
big deal at the time back in 2022 that even Nintendo had to make a statement about it, saying that they don't support any of these actions. This even forced her own agency to apologize, but when she apologized...
There was this one time, hypothetically, that never happened. There's this one video that's like actually just genuine porn, but it was like something that I wanted to talk about on stream that was like related to whatever I was talking about. So I unfortunately I was like, guys, if you're 18 plus, you can click on the link in the Discord. And it was back in the day when there was like a porn like thingy on the Discord and shit until I had to remove it because it was just too much. And so we watched it all together.
She ended up wearing a dinosaur costume before her entire channel got suspended. And while yes, what she did was definitely crazy.
No, guys, it wasn't for the porn though. It was a joke. It had a joke in it, I promise you. I remembered very well. It had a joke.
It doesn't mean that all the talents here are crazy as well, all right? This VTuber agency works like any other agency.
There was a joke in the porn.
So Tamara was part of the first wave.
You just didn't get it! I don't remember it anymore, but I just remember it happening.
There's also a second wave and a third wave. Wakarase Choro had actually joined them in the beginning of 2023. Her debut date, the first time she ever streamed, was on the 21st of January, 2023. Now look, by no means would she become the biggest VTuber on the planet, but throughout her tenure, she would build quite a loyal audience, and they seemed to enjoy her streams very much. She also would grow in a fairly healthy way. On the day of her debut, she would go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. And by September of that same year, within 9 months, she would surpass 10,000 subscribers. Very healthy growth for someone who had just started. However, after reaching that very impressive milestone of 10,000 subscribers, her streams would all of a sudden become way more sporadic, way more inconsistent. She would take a lot of time off, then come back randomly, with no explanation, confusing her community that's so tight-knit, while also, of course, making them worry about her. The audience would be like,
hey guys, I know a cool code, something with 100 guys in the room.
left in the dark until February 2024, when Choro would decide to go live with a stream that didn't really match anything she's done before. Kind of like a PowerPoint presentation where she even put glasses on her model. In it, she would reveal for the first time the situation with her mother, about how much it was affecting her, and detailing the toxic dynamic that was present between them. The first PowerPoint slide of the stream would make it very clear what it was about. It would say, Wakarase Choro's decision, the reason why I was
double vision and had to wear an eye patch for a year and a half until I got surgery to fix
Holy
my
shit,
eye.
man, I hope you're okay now.
It was incredibly scary. So I know a little bit what you must have been going through.
Yeah, I freaked the fuck out, dude.
Glad it was only temporary.
Thank you so much.
Able to stream much since around November of last year, and the reason why I had been thinking about quitting as a VTuber, I will tell you everything. She'd say how bad she felt for not streaming for a while, for being so sporadic, and about how nervous she was going live with the stream. This is when she'd pull up the next PowerPoint slide, and it would say, reason, my mother's abnormal level of over-interference. Number 1, a mother who imposes her own ideals onto others.
You know, I saw this conversation happen in TikTok about like, is the man supposed to pick his mother over his wife or whatever the fuck? And then it made me think about like, God, you do know, like, in my head I was like thinking, in a normal situation, you never have to. Normal people will never have to make you pick or something. It like genuinely, you know how odd the situation has to be for one, your wife feeling weird about your mom and your mom making it like not her day. It's like the issue of like, the reason why that question even exists is because like some mothers would in their son's wedding night or something make it about them, or like in their baby thingy where her son is finally having a child, she will instead of letting the son celebrate it with his wife, she would like self-insert, like narcissistic moms. Yeah. And that's the reason why that conversation even started. Like, it's not a normal situation, dude. No, like, dude, I've never met my friend's mom who was ever like that, and I'm so glad. I hope that it's rare, and I really do hope that it's a rare conversation to ever fucking have.
Number 2, she constantly interferes with my appearance and hobbies, saying things like, do it this way, or you won't be cute unless you do this. This was everyday stuff according to her. Number 3, if I didn't act the way she wanted, she would excessively insult and verbally abuse me and throw tantrums.
Or the dog, you got to pick the dog. Same for anyone making you pick an ultimatum. You pick the one that ditches the person making the argument.
To be fair, I think the ultimatums thingy is fair when it makes you very fucking uncomfortable. If I was dating somebody that like I cannot have a moment for me and my partner to have alone, let's say if I had a child and we were having like a gender party or whatever the fuck to find out whether it's a girl or a son, and then the mom is making it about herself and I need to separate it from my own mental fucking health. Yeah, no, I'm making an ultimatum. I can't fucking deal with that shit for the rest of my fucking life. There's no shot. Like, genuinely. There's just no shot. Notice the girl isn't a daughter, just a girl. Oh shit, sorry, misspoke. A daughter or son.
And number 4, even when I told her she was the source of my stress, my mother would justify
But
her.
in a normal scenario, in a normal world where these things don't even happen, you never have to pick between. And you never should have to. Honestly, that is such a crazy scenario to even live through. That's so fucking stressful.
Saying she was doing it for my sake, then go back to an infinite loop of number 2. Shoro would then explain this further, saying that her own mother would sometimes say snide comments like, "You're a gamer, so you're a loser," and would really just comment and nitpick on the smallest things. Like, even if she didn't do her makeup in the way that her mother approves, she would make a comment.
She's a VTuber. What the fuck does her... Oh, in real life. Jesus Christ, dude.
On that, saying things like, "You're not cute at all. This is why you're a failure. This is why you're good for
shit is a
nothing."
word.
Even going as far as saying, "Why am I so unlucky?" referring to the fact that she's her daughter. Choro would really emphasize here, saying that she had told her multiple times, "Mom, you are the biggest source of my stress. Please stop." But she had, throughout all this
I think what's happening here is the mom being so fucking jealous.
time, started to understand that her mom was never going to accept that because she doesn't think she's doing something wrong. She'd counter this by saying, "No, that's not right. It's because you have no friends. That's probably what's stressing you out. It's probably because you're not even getting popular from streaming." Choro would then say, "Being told these things constantly at home was genuinely really stressful, you know?" And I mean, I don't think it's hard to imagine, right? Some of you watching might have abusive parents, some of you might have amazing parents, but just picturing yourself in the shoes of someone where their own mother tells them, "You're a failure, and why am I so unlucky to have you?" Yeah, I think that would ruin just about anyone's mood. Then the final slide would show up in the stream. It would say, "About being a VTuber. I want to really commit and work hard at being a VTuber this year."
You know what she probably did? She graduated this account, but then she made a new whole like thing. Change her voice like a little bit, like with the pitch tone so that the mom can find her.
But since I've also started
hope
working a
that's what she
regular
did.
job, being 100% a VTuber is difficult. Of course, I'll still try my absolute hardest though. As for daily life, Shinsegumi, the agency, is supporting me in every way, so there's nothing to worry about at all. Also, even after physically distancing myself, my mother's persistent interference won't stop. So I want to do my best to resolve that side of things as quickly as possible. She would add on to this by saying just how grateful she is to the agency.
There's a lot of context we may never know about this video, about their dynamic. It doesn't matter. If you're a mother and doing this to your child, you are a fucking loser. You are literally a loser in life. And she has nothing better to do. Lemon Drops, thank you so much, 2 months.
And thanking the founder and head of the agency a lot. How she wanted to keep going as a VTuber, even though her mother at the time would keep saying quit, 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 quit over and over. She'd of course thank her community for being there for her.
There's no way a mother will do it, guys. Come on. This is insane.
For actually giving her compliments, for actually saying nice things as opposed to her mother. And then after some more talking to the chat.
This is like some movie shit. You know, sometimes I watch a movie and I'm like, whoa, that is crazy abuse. Hopefully it doesn't happen too much. God, dude. Holy shit.
The stream would end. So here was the situation. Choro was dealing with a psychopath of a mother, someone who was making her life a living hell. During this tumultuous time, around the end of
this is genuine like movie level abuse. Stalking your daughter in her social media so you can talk shit.
2023 or so,
What?
she would reach her limit and would decide, you know what, she's my mother, sure, but she's making my life hell. It's time to
not
distance
even movies had a mother this abusive.
myself from her.
Like,
this is when she would take the
emotionally.
big decision to move out. However, in order to live by herself and actually support herself, she had to take on a full-time job as well as continue VTubing. But here's the catch, and she mentioned this during the stream. Even though she had distanced herself physically from her mother, she had gone and lived by herself, wanting to forge a new path for herself, her mom was not leaving her alone. She kept trying to interfere and to continue making her life a living hell. Now, by this point, we genuinely had no idea how she was doing that. The only thing her fans were hoping for was that she can figure things out. Unfortunately,
Ban her
though,
IP?
even when it came to the standard of what a crazy mother is, Choro's mom beat all and any expectations you would have of how far someone can take this.
I would
One
sue
could
her or
argue
something,
that
like, I would, like,
leaving
get a
actually made
restraining
Choro's
order.
life even more of a living hell. And eventually, her mother's harassment would be simply too much to bear. Japan is a country in which murder doesn't just happen every single day.
No,
well, at least for the ones that are actually reported.
Why are we talking about
so
this?
So much so that when a murder does actually happen, especially in a high-profile public manner, it gets reported on all over the world because it's such a big deal. For example, you might have seen how on March 26, 2026, a female Pokemon store employee was the victim of a knife attack. But what was the motive? Was the man behind this just someone who was thirsting for death? No. In fact, he was an ex-lover. They had broken up barely a year ago, and during that entire time, he was stalking her. Of course, she would complain to the police. Whoa. Of course, she would try to do something about it, but nothing happens until it's too late. In Japan and many other countries around the world, stalking can be done by anyone, regardless of gender and regardless of relationship. The same inefficiency goes for a mother trying to stalk their kid. And so even though Choro tried to find some sort of solution to make this stop, she was faced with a very unfortunate reality. And that's the fact that if she really wanted peace, she had to graduate and cease being a VTuber.
I was going to say something, but I just thought it was rude. Murder is actually very illegal in Japan. Yeah, it kind of like made it sound like that, where like, yeah, that happens everywhere. Murder, but in Japan.
This announcement would come all of a sudden, without anyone expecting it, on May 16th, 2025, almost a year after that stream where she had explained to everyone her situation. The Shinsogumi official Twitter account would post, "We hereby report that our affiliated member, Wakarashi Choro, will be graduating from Shinsogumi as of May 31st, 2025. For details, please see below." Here's what it had to say.
Whoa.
Thank you very much.
Sorry guys, but I can't tell you.
For your continued support of Shinsogumi. Regret to inform you that Choro, a member of our team, will be graduating on May 31st, 2025. For detailed reasons regarding her graduation, please watch the live stream on the Choro YouTube channel today, May 16th, 2025 at 7 p.m. In summary, there was a major conflict between Choro and her family, and concerns about physical interference at events and filming locations gradually caused her emotional distress, making it difficult for her to continue her normal activities. The Shinsogumi team continued discussions with her to see if there was any way to continue her activities, but rather than forcing her to continue, we respected her mental state and wishes and accepted her request to graduate. The graduation livestream is scheduled to take place on May 23rd.
Why was the murder brought up?
They will then detail how everything on her socials is going to be privated as her graduation takes place. So as this notice mentioned, Choro would also at the same time tweet that she'd be having a stream at 7 p.m. on the same day. But before we get to that, I just want to point out how, even by Japanese graduation letter standards, this wasn't really seen before. Typically, these notices are kept very simple, very straightforward and professional. Right. Hey, this person decided to leave because they found, I don't know, some other creative avenue they want to pursue.
Right.
But saying that they're leaving because of physical interference by family who was stalking them at conventions and events is definitely next level. Her audience was shocked, but even Japanese bystanders seeing this on their feed on Twitter were also shocked. Wait, what? Physical interference by family? It was very unfortunate. This was someone who was really enjoying what they were doing. Many were rooting for her, and here we were. It seemed like she was defeated. So of course, many were looking forward to her stream to see what the hell happened.
I am back.
Now look, obviously by now, her entire channel's been privated, okay? The only thing still there is the May 23rd graduation
the police don't do anything.
However, right after this, she would conduct a members-only stream. And that's when she would get into the nitty-gritty, the shocking details about how far her mom was taking being a hate watcher. Now, the graduation stream itself would be good vibes. It'd be wholesome. She would bring on the head of her agency, and she would bring on some other guests as well. Her community was also there to support her as much as they can. And as I said, this was a small community, but they were very passionate, and they were very tight-knit. This can truly be seen here. Now, at the end, the vibes would turn more, I don't know, tragic, sad, I guess. She'd give a little bit of a speech, thanking everyone for being there for her, for being a source of positivity.
If I ever graduate, you're gonna see like the most embarrassing fucking cry I'll ever do on stream.
When she needed it the most, but would also really make sure to remind everyone that this was a positive graduation. She wasn't leaving for negative reasons. If anything, the agency wanted her to stay. It's just that she just so happened to have found a new path she wants to pursue in life, and that's it. She'd give a motivational speech to her fans, telling them that if there's something that's stopping you from pursuing what you want in life, do it, and don't be swayed by the negative opinions of others. Then she would end the graduation stream by saying, "You don't even have to say my name. Just remembering me every once in a while would mean the world to me. See you next time." One could confidently say that Choro, even though she's went through hell on earth, and had taken this decision to separate from something that she really enjoyed doing and appreciated, still managed to end on a high note. And in order to do that, I mean, it takes guts. But what exactly happened that made her want to pursue a new path? What exactly happened when it came to her family and her fear of it getting into the physical interference territory? Well, at some point during this period of graduation, she would go live on a membership-only stream where she would sing karaoke songs, but would also give more details as to what exactly happened and why she wanted to separate herself from the public.
Wait, what? She did karaoke and then she talked about like that kind of stuff in the middle of her songs?
Life. Now look, her audience, especially her members, the people who actually paid money to be members on her YouTube channel, were already aware of her mother and how crazy she was. They just weren't expecting her to be this crazy. Because according to Choro, her mom would make accounts to type in her chat, and they would be hate messages, right? But seeing that she had to listen to her bicker and complain and insult her every single day, she knew exactly how she typed. She'd look to the chat panel and see—
why didn't she just insta-ban that shit?
Her mom typing hate messages, and she'd think in her head, oh, this is my mom, like I might as well ban her, to which her mom would just create another account. But that's not all, of course. Her mom would send people to try to find where she was living, like private investigators or whatever. And whenever there was a convention or event that Shora was going to go to, she would also somehow send someone there to try and find her and maybe follow her home. At the end of the day, this mental strain isn't something you can just live with and ignore. It was starting to make her fearful of going to events, of interacting with fans, of continuing this public-facing life. And so because of this surveillance state that her mom had built around her, she found no other solution than to just graduate and focus on her full-time job. It's genuinely tragic, and it sucks that she had to give up something that she genuinely enjoyed doing because her mom couldn't just get a life, I guess. My heart goes out to her. Look, overall, when I see stories like this, it makes me genuinely wonder, how many others are there that are in Choro's shoes but aren't public personalities?
I don't know.
They're just regular people that have to deal with this mental strain every single day.
That is insane, man.
This is when I came across a Japanese user's comment replying to the Anime Trends tweet about Choro. They would say, Choro's mother did the same thing as the mother in the following incident. She said, since I gave birth to my daughter, she is a part of my body, so she must obey my commands forever. This is a tendency seen in some Japanese mothers, to which—
holy shit, dude.
She would link the Shiga Medical University student mother murder case, Wikipedia. This was a very infamous case that happened in Japan back in 2018, where a Japanese woman had an extremely controlling mother, similar to Choro in some ways. Her mother kept pushing her to be someone that she's not, insulting her, berating her, trying to ruin her life. And so the daughter felt like the only way she could move on with her life and do what she actually wanted to do was to, well, erase the existence of her mother with a knife. Directly after doing so, she would go on Twitter on the 20th of January 2018 and would tweet out, "I defeated the monster. Now I can finally relax." This case was so fascinating for many that it had become a book and subsequently became a manga. And I can see—
I was about to say, but I didn't want to be rude, that this is an insane plot for a game or a show
that happened in Japan back in some way. So the Twitter on the now I'm about things like this. Because as I said in the intro, many people understand that with success comes hate, envy, jealousy, whatever you want to call it. You expect this from strangers, from people who've never met you or interacted with you, but you would never in a million years expect it from your mother. It's inconceivable for people who haven't experienced it, and it's still inconceivable for people who are experiencing it. And that's what Choro, unfortunately, had to go through. I truly wish her the best, and I hope that she's right now, at this very moment, living the life she's always wanted to live without anyone telling her otherwise. Take care out there, guys, and if you decide to have children one day, definitely don't make alt accounts to hate on them in the
bare minimum, all right?
Chat if they decide to become streamers. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you want to see exclusive content,
that is the most insane fucking shit ever. I feel like, not to downplay like daddy issues or something, but I feel like mom issues is so much more severe sometimes, because I think it's just something that lives with you for a really long time. From every person I've ever met with mommy issues, it's something where you genuinely need to like have therapy for.